You read something complex, a research paper, a philosophical argument, maybe even just a long article, and within seconds, your brain starts resisting. Not because you're stupid, because your head is physically swelling. You feel this pressure, this fog, and suddenly you have an opinion. This is overcomplicated. This is nonsense. But here's what you don't realize. That wasn't an opinion. That was a neurological emergency signal. You think you're being critical, analytical, smart, but you're not thinking, you're shutting down, and the world rewards you for it. Keep it simple. Trust your gut. You have a right to your opinion. Meanwhile, you're getting dumber with every simplification. The truth? Your brain isn't designed to handle complexity, not without infrastructure. But there's a protocol, a way to stretch the channel instead of shrinking the world. And it starts with admitting something most people will never admit. Here's the lie you've been sold your entire life. I have a right to my opinion. I listen to the experts. I read the news. I disagree. Sounds reasonable, right? Democratic, intelligent, except most people aren't forming opinions. They're having allergic reactions. Let me explain. Your brain is a pipe. Information is fluid. Complex information, dense philosophy, advanced science, nuanced policy, that's thick fluid. And when thick fluid hits a narrow pipe, pressure, swelling, pain, your ancient brain interprets this as a threat, and it has one solution: simplify or destroy. This is the reductionist reflex, and you experience it every single day without knowing it. Picture this. Two experts debate. Dense language, technical terms, structural arguments. You watch for 3 minutes. Your head starts hurting, and you declare, "I disagree with both." Not because you analyzed it, because your channel couldn't fit it. So your brain did what primitive minds always do. Burn it all down, start over, keep it simple. It's not your fault, but it is your problem. Here's the medical metaphor that changes everything. In medicine, when a body passage is too narrow, doctors use a procedure called bouginage. They insert a tool, force the passage open, stretch it. It's uncomfortable, it's slow, but it works. Your mind needs the same thing, and I'm about to show you the protocol. Step 1, the trigger audit. You think clarity is a sign of intelligence? It's not. Instant clarity is a red flag. It means you're only processing what already fits your narrow channel. The masses crave simplicity. You're hunting for the moment you want to run away. Because that moment, that's where the growth is. Here's the tool. Next time you encounter complex information, set a timer. 3 seconds. When you feel the urge to say, "This is nonsense" or "too complicated," stop. Write it down. "My channel just rejected this." That's it. That's the trigger audit. Why does this work? What you're feeling is cognitive load exceeding working memory capacity. Your prefrontal cortex is overheating. Your amygdala is screaming threat. But here's the thing. That discomfort, that's growth friction. That's the exact moment your brain could expand if you let it. But catching the reflex is only step 1, because now comes the hard part. And this is where 99% of people fail. Step 2, the diagnostic flip. When you don't understand something, your ego tells you, "This information is bad." But elite thinkers do the opposite. They assume, "I am structurally unprepared." This is the flip that separates you from the noise. The tool is simple, but brutal. Ask yourself, do I have the prerequisite text to process this? Text, the internal framework, the concepts, the vocabulary, the ideology. Without Shakespeare's language structure, you can't read Shakespeare. Without calculus, you can't read physics. So when your head swells, it's not the information's fault. You lack the substrate. Why does this matter biologically? Your brain builds knowledge hierarchically, schemas stacked on schemas. When you encounter information that requires schema layer 7, but you only have layers 1-4, structural collapse. It's not a bug, it's architecture. And most people never realize this. They spend their entire lives blaming the complexity instead of building the structure. Okay, so you've diagnosed the problem, your channel is too narrow. But how do you actually stretch it? That's step 3, and it's deeply uncomfortable. Step 3, the forced expansion. You've been taught, if it's confusing, simplify it. Wrong. If it's confusing, you need to complexify. Because here's what nobody tells you. Every time you simplify, your channel shrinks. Do this for years, and you become intellectually infantile. The tool is called the assumption reversal. When you hit complexity, repeat this phrase. This text is right. I am the narrow vessel. Then, reverse engineer the prerequisites. What vocabulary do I not know? What frameworks is this assuming? What did the author read to get here? Google those. Watch lectures. Read the foundational texts. Slowly, uncomfortably, your channel will stretch. Why does this work? Neuroplasticity. Your brain physically rewires based on cognitive demand, but only if you sustain the discomfort. If you flee to simplicity, the neural pathway never forms. It's like lifting weights. You don't grow by lowering the bar. You grow by forcing the lift. But here's the trap. You'll do this once, feel smart, and then forget. Step 4 is the system that makes this permanent. Step 4, the discourse installation. You think you need to form your own opinions. You don't. The masses try to have opinions without frameworks. They produce static noise. You're installing the discourse first. Here's the protocol. Choose one complex ideology, system, or framework. Philosophy, economics, evolutionary biology. Doesn't matter? Spend 6 months only reading that. No opposing views, no balanced takes. Let it colonize your mind. Let it become your state text. Only then, once you have structure, introduce opposition. Why this matters? You can't critique what you don't embody. You can't analyze multiple frameworks without inhabiting one first. This is called subjectivation. You're not born a person with valid opinions. You become one by internalizing a code. Without the code, you're just biology reacting to pressure. And once you have that, once you've built the structure, that's when the real power kicks in. Step 5. Step 5, the complexity addiction. Right now, your brain rewards you for simplifying. Dopamine hit for keeping it simple. You need to rewire that. Make complexity the reward. The tool, the cognitive load journal. Every time you successfully process something complex, write it down. Today, I understood X. I had to learn Y and Z first. My channel is wider. Track your expansion. Gamify it. Soon, you'll crave the head-swelling moment because you know it means growth. Why does this work? Dopamine responds to progress signals, not outcomes. If you mark complexity as progress, your reward system flips. You stop running from difficulty. You hunt it. Miss this step, and you'll relapse into simplification within weeks. Do this, and you become unreachable to the noise. This isn't about understanding more. It's about becoming a different kind of organism. Most people shrink the world to fit their narrow minds. You do the opposite. You stretch, you expand, you force the channel open, and the result? You stop having opinions, you start having architecture. When someone says, "It's too complicated," you'll hear, "My channel is too narrow." When someone says, "I disagree," you'll hear, "I lack the prerequisite text." You won't judge them. but you won't join them either. Disagreement is not intelligence, it's structural failure. The world is complex. Your mind can match it or collapse into noise. Your choice.